Welcome, everybody, to the Steampunk Star Raisin live show, special edition. This is a special edition for the 40th anniversary of Star Wars. 40 years ago today, which was May the 25th, 1977, was when the first Star Wars, now known as A New Hope, premiered in movie theaters. And I'm here with my co-host, Daniel, from Ontario, Canada. What part of Ontario are you from? If you don't want to say, that's fine.
No, I'm from Bellwood.
Oh, okay. I'm just making intro conversation, especially for people who have not seen this show before, or maybe seeing it for the first time. We got one live viewer. Welcome, live viewer. You're my only audience for now, but this will be recorded and put into my YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think. Let me come up with a somewhat interesting screen share. Bear with me here, people. I'm getting the live show going. I want to do a screen share. I got the Star Wars Wikipedia page. There we go. Okay, let's get this done. Figure out. I figured what more appropriate for the live show than to, show the Star Wars. Can you see that, Daniel?
Yep.
Cool. That's the Star Wars Wikipedia page. The one thing I always thought was interesting, and I think he's a good actor. I'll just start with saying this. They always intrigued me. Did you ever see the 1975 audition tapes for Star Wars, Daniel?
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah.
And Russell Crowe nearly got the part of Han Solo. Did you know that?
Yeah, he did. Almost.
So what do you think it would have been better with Russell Crowe as Han Solo, or do you think it was better with Harrison Ford?
I think it was better with Harrison Ford. I think they should have gotten what's his name, Russell Crowe as something else. But they went with Han Solo.
Do you know why? What was the reason why Russell Crowe didn't get the part? Because I saw the audition tape. He was reading. He had read the script. It seemed like he had memorized the script. He seemed very passionate about getting this role in Star Wars, and he ended up not doing it. And so, was it a schedule conflict? Do you know?
Yeah,
or what?
It was a schedule conflict, or maybe he had to do something. Yeah, he was doing something else at the time. Maybe. Yeah, I remember what he was saying. He was like, I remember his audition tape. He was like, remember when Han Solo was like, when Harrison Ford was like, oh, what's so important about the R2 unit, right?
Yeah.
Like Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe?
Russell Crowe said it differently. He was like, oh, what's so blasted important about the R2 unit? I remember him saying that. And
did Russell Crowe audition for Star Wars?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I knew that Kurt Russell did.
No, Kurt Russell, not Russell Crowe. Sorry.
Oh, okay. As I say, Russell Crowe's a little bit younger than Kurt Russell, and I don't think he auditioned for Star Wars. But I think Russell Crowe, from what I understand, Russell Crowe, the different actor than Kurt Russell, of course, he was offered the role of Anakin Skywalker, but he turned it down. What do you think? If Anakin Skywalker had been played by Russell Crowe, what do you think? You think that would have made it better or worse, or about the same?
Worse.
Worse. Okay. You don't like Russell Crowe. I take it as an actor.
What?
What's going on? Everything okay there?
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay.
So I guess being appropriate, May the 4th, I can't really say May the 4th be with you because that's already passed. But May the 4th be with you on Star Wars Day, May 25th, 2017. But so we got three confirmed Star Wars films coming up. We got The Last Jedi, which they've released a couple of teaser trailers, and then we've got the Han Solo movie, which I'm excited about because it's written by Lawrence Kasdan. And then we got episode 9, untitled as yet. And then that's all we know for sure. Have you heard anything else in Star Wars news, Daniel?
Well, they're releasing Battlefront. They're releasing more information on Battlefront 2, which was a really big game, and yeah. So as we know, they're filming. They're filming it Han Solo right now. Oh, and also remember I told you they're going to start filming Episode 9 in January.
Oh, they are? Okay, I did not know that. I was thinking they would wait until The Last Jedi, see how well that does at the box office.
The Last Jedi comes out in December 2017, so they're going to probably start filming, in January 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know why. They said they were going to start filming Episode 9 in June.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they may want to. I mean, I don't know. You know, there's always internal politics between LucasArts and Disney. I mean, Disney, LucasArts is only a semi-quasi independent company run by Disney, and they act like they're an independent company, but they're technically, Kathleen Kennedy, the CEO of LucasArts, she does whatever Disney tells her to do. She's like their overseer, protector of the franchise. But yeah, I mean, that in some ways it's good because I think Kathleen Kennedy is largely responsible. A combination, I would say Kathleen Kennedy and Lawrence Kasdan are the two people that are responsible for making sure that The Force Awakens didn't suck. Because if I don't know if you heard, when J.J. Abrams was chosen to direct The Force Awakens, he originally wrote the script and then they brought in Lawrence Kasdan to make some revisions. He originally had written the script to focus only on new characters, and the old characters would only make a cameo. Like Princess Leia and Han Solo were only going to make a cameo. Luke ended up only making a cameo. And the Abrams, from what I understand, hated the prequels so much. The first draft of the script was written in such a way as if the prequels never existed. He was going to do things in The Force Awakens that would have contradicted with the prequel canon, but Kathleen Kennedy said no, and then that's when they brought in Lawrence Kasdan to make some revisions to The Force Awakens script to keep it within canon, even to the prequels. And so, yeah, if J.J. Abrams he would have probably done some things like, he could have, he doesn't really care about continuity. I've noticed that about Abrams. But, I mean, that's why, in my opinion, I'm going to name off my Star Wars films from most favorite to least favorite. My most favorite, I would say, I know it would be probably controversial for some Star Wars fans, I would say Rogue One is my most favorite. And I just like the darkness and the grittiness of it, and that whole scene with Darth Vader storming the rebel ship, and he's like killing people left and right. That was like a really badass scene. And I liked how it was like from the perspective of ordinary people fighting in the rebellion to ordinary people fighting in the Empire. And it just showed you a different take of this was like, in my opinion, Rogue One was the first canon Star Wars expanded universe film. And in the new canon, at least, not in Legends. And so I like the characters. I think that if you really pay attention, you get to know the characters very well. And I thought it was written kind of like a Greek tragedy, or a lot of it's also written kind of like a lot of Eastern, like Japanese films, where the main hero dies, everybody dies. But yeah, it showed like weight of the sacrifice. I know like some fans, like Jenny Nichols, she does the Screen Junkies show. She's one of the hosts of the Screen Junkies show. She's known as the Millennial Falcon. She hated Rogue One, and so did Hello Greedo. Hello Greedo's, he said it was like a mediocre film, but I disagree. I think it's my favorite Star Wars film. What's your favorite Star Wars film?
Probably the last one. No, actually, no, I'm not.
Mean Rogue One?
Yeah.
Okay. You can have a different opinion from me. That doesn't matter.
No, no, I'm trying to think. They're just so good. Oh my god, is it the first one? Is it? I don't really know. I mean, I love the first one. I just think it's awesome.
Well, the first one was good too. I would say my second favorite Star Wars film would be Empire Strikes Back, which is most people's favorite. But Rogue One just blew me away. It actually made me have tears in my eyes. Like, I felt sad when K2SO died. I felt sad when Jyn Erso died. I mean, it was tragic and sad. It was really emotionally moving. But yeah, Empire Strikes Back, you know, the plot twist that Darth Vader being Luke Skywalker's father, that was really good. And I just like the darkness and the grittiness of it. And that was Lawrence Kasdan's first entry into the Star Wars universe, because he wrote the screenplay for Empire Strikes Back. George Lucas had a basic story synopsis for Empire Strikes Back, but it was Lawrence Kasdan who really fleshed out the character of Yoda. Oh, welcome, new viewer. I got 2 viewers now. Yeah, Lawrence Kasdan fleshed out the character of Yoda and made him a lot more interesting. And you have to be a damn good writer, Lawrence Kasdan, and I'm a big fan, to take a puppet and make him a very interesting character just by the nature of the writing. So yeah, I would say Empire Strikes Back is my second favorite film of all time. And then I would say my third favorite would be the original Star Wars. No, I'm sorry. Correction. I've made some revisions in recent history. My third favorite would be Revenge of the Sith. Ah, somebody left. Well, we still got 1 viewer watching this live. The Revenge of the Sith would be my third favorite film. Some newer fans, that's their favorite film, but I really liked Revenge of the Sith. I thought it was very emotionally gripping and moving. I liked the way Ewan McGregor portrays Obi-Wan Kenobi. I love the battle between Anakin Skywalker, aka Darth Vader, and Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi. I just liked how he was, you know, he just seemed broken as a person. He's like, you were the chosen one. You were supposed to destroy the Sith, not destroy it. I mean, anybody who says Revenge of the Sith is a sucky film, they're just obviously not paying attention. It was an awesome film. So I would say Revenge of the Sith is my third favorite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a good film. I loved it.
And then after Revenge of the Sith, I would say Star Wars. The original Star Wars would be my fourth favorite. And because it's the original Star Wars, and it's well written, and it's got a much more serious tone than some of the later Star Wars films. Because like, even, you know, like in Empire Strikes Back, there's a little bit more camaraderie and joking between Princess Leia and Han Solo. But yeah, I liked Alec Guinness as Obi-Wan Kenobi. He seemed like a grizzled old veteran living as a hermit in the desert. I mean, and it's the original film. It's really well done. It's a little bit rough because it was done on a limited budget, but it was still pretty good. The original Star Wars film wasn't exactly a low-budget film, contrary to popular belief. I think they spent $11 million making the original Star Wars film. And if you adjust for inflation, let me get my inflation calculator, I think that'd be like the equivalent of 33 million. But anyway, inflation. Let me just try to figure out. Okay, I'm going to do a screen share. You see that? Okay, so 1977, and they spent, I was going to put 11. We know that it's millions. Okay, so $11 in 1977 is the equivalent to $44.39 in today's dollars. So that's the equivalent of spending $44 million. Not exactly, you know, you hear a lot of people saying that the original Star Wars was spent on a limited budget. Not exactly a low budget. Not exactly a low budget. I would say it was a medium budget. Would you agree with that for the pricing?
Yeah, a medium budget.
It was a medium budget because the $44 million, that's quite a bit to spend on a film, in my opinion. I've directed movies, but it's always been low budget, guerrilla filmmaking, and Nowhere near that, of course. Nowhere near even 11 million. But I mean, it was still pretty. Lucas was still trying to figure out the special effects and still try to figure things out. But it's kind of rough. But it's still a great film. And then after the original Star Wars, I would say my fifth favorite film would be Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi, because it's the last of the original trilogy, and that's the first film where you get a really good look at Emperor Palpatine. I think some of the things that detract for me from Return of the Jedi would be I didn't really care for the Ewoks too much. They were just a cutie thing to sell Star Wars toys. And I didn't like the fact that Boba Fett just seemed to – he's got this reputation of being like such a badass character, and he goes out weak sauce seemingly to die in the Sarlacc pit. But I think Disney has since said that Boba Fett didn't die. But if Boba Fett didn't die, how come we didn't see him in The Force Awakens? But who knows? Who knows what's in store for the future? There's rumor of a Boba Fett film. Are they still going to do a Boba Fett film?
Yeah, I heard that they could do it in 2020.
Okay.
So yeah, but I don't know what that would have. Like, would it be like after he escaped the Sarlacc pit, or would it be like? I think
that would be, if you're going to do a Boba Fett film, that would be the best place to start. If he survived the Sarlacc pit, let's see him escape the Sarlacc pit. Let's see events after Return of the Jedi. That's a gap in history that we haven't seen in film, and I think fans would like to see that. And we need to see a film where Boba Fett shows how much of a badass he is.
Yeah.
In the Star Wars universe, he's said to be a badass bounty hunter, but he seems to get his ass kicked pretty easily. Like he gets knocked off the hovercraft or with the hovercraft thingy by a blind Han Solo. How lame is that? I mean, so I had some misgivings with the Return of the Jedi, but it was still a great film, and I would place that as my fifth favorite Star Wars film. Sixth favorite Star Wars film, I would say would be The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens, Lawrence Kasdan had kind of a saving grace. It was good to see what some of the characters have been up to for 40 years. My disappointments with The Force Awakens is it seemed like too much of a remake of Star Wars A New Hope, and I didn't like the fact that Luke had no dialogue. He just has this weird, funny stare, and you don't see him until like the last 30 seconds of the film. It would have been nice to see, even Mark Hamill in an interview, he said it would have been nice to see one last reunion between Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, and you never got to see that. And and Mark Hamill criticized the script. He said that it would have been nice to see Luke Skywalker at least witness Han Solo getting killed, so it would have had more of an emotional impact. And another criticism I had was Kylo Ren seemed to be kind of a whiny, emo character. Like he just started temper tantrums like a spoiled little child. And he just seemed like a whiny, emo character. There were some continuity errors, like, Poe Dameron seemingly dies at the beginning of the film, and then there's no explanation how he survived that. Like the creature gobbles up the X-Wing that he's in, and I don't see how he could have survived that. But there's no explanation. He just appears later on in the film. And the reason for that is because Poe Dameron, the actor, what's the actor's name that plays Poe Dameron? I forget his name.
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac, who plays Poe Dameron, originally was only going to be playing a bit supporting character, and his character in the original draft, this script was supposed to die when the TIE fighter crashed and the sand monster gobbles him up. But J.J. Abrams, this is typical J.J. Abrams, was so impressed with Oscar Isaac's performance, he's like, oh, we'll write you back in the script. We won't kill you off after all. And it's like, okay, I get it. You like Oscar Isaac, you like Poe Dameron, but at least put in one line of dialogue as to how he survived. There's just no explanation. It just comes off as mind-boggling, and but yeah, and another thing is, it's like Luke Skywalker. Why would he just be in exile for 30 years? Why would he let everything go to hell when he's supposed to be like the chosen one, or Darth Vader? I guess is the chosen one, but why would Luke Skywalker let everything go to hell when he's the one to restore balance, or Darth Vader technically restores balance to the Force, but with the help of his son, Luke Skywalker. I found that a little bit unbelievable. And I had some issue with why would you build another mega super weapon with the exact same weakness as the original Death Star? It seems like I guess the First Order, there's the successor state to the Empire, but what have they not learned anything? I mean, you would think after 30 years they would like, okay, we don't need to have such a critical weakness where we can just take out Star Killer Base. I didn't like that the Star Killer Base was just a blatant copy of the Death Star. It was just bigger and somewhat more powerful. It could destroy 3 planets instead of 1. And so I had a lot of misgivings with The Force Awakens, but it was still a good and entertaining film. I wouldn't say it was a great film. Mm-hmm. And then that's my 6th favorite Star Wars film. And then my 7th favorite Star Wars film, I would say, is Attack of the Clones. I know, I think Hello Greedo put it as his least favorite film. That's one Star Wars YouTuber that I watch, but I disagree with him on that because I really liked Count Dooku as a character, and I liked the fight scene between Yoda and Count Dooku. Up until Attack of the Clones, you never got to see why Yoda was such a badass Jedi. And in this film, you get to see why he was a badass Jedi. I liked Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I liked how Count Dooku was trying to persuade him to join his cause. He was like, there's the Republic is under the control of a Sith Lord, so it was providing the plot twist that led up to Revenge of the Sith. And I thought it was a really good movie. And also it introduces the clones, which was the foundation for a really excellent Star Wars TV series, Star Wars Clone Wars. Can't beat that. Any thoughts or words of wisdom on Attack of the Clones? Did you like that film?
Yeah, I liked it. I don't know why they say it was like the worst one. I liked it. I remember when it first came out, I loved it. I was so excited. It looked better than the first one to me. It was so good. And
yeah, I liked it better than The Phantom Menace. That's not to say I didn't like The Phantom Menace. So yeah, Attack of the Clones was a good film. The flaws of Attack of the Clones, I would say it dragged on a bit through the middle. And the love interest of Anakin Skywalker and Padme, the love scenes didn't always seem 100% natural, but it wasn't as bad as people said it was. It really wasn't as bad as people make it out to be. I mean, if you want to see a horrible Star Wars film, watch the holiday special. And then my least favorite Star Wars film, my 8th favorite, but that doesn't mean I don't like it. I still like this film. It would be The Phantom Menace. I liked Quan Jin, and then I liked Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Jar Jar Binks was a little bit annoying. It wasn't as annoying for me as some other people. I didn't think it totally ruined the film, and Jar Jar Binks, they were still trying to work out CGI graphics. He looks a bit fake in a lot of the scenes. He looks a bit wooden and out of place because they weren't as good with the CGI back then. And but that's where they introduced the battle droids, which you would later, it's also a foundation for the Clone Wars cartoon. Introduced the battle droids, the beginnings of the Confederacy of Independent Systems. It was still a good film. I actually liked the politics with the Trade Federation, because you don't really get to see politics too much in sci-fi films, and George Lucas did an interesting thing with his sci-fi films. The Trade Federation, they're kind of like a metaphor for corporations, and they're greedy, and they don't mind killing people just for the sake of profit. And so it was a different kind of enemy at a different kind of time in the Star Wars history. And the fight scenes with Darth Maul and Quan Jin and Obi-Wan Kenobi were really good. And there was some emotional impact when Quan Jin died. So definitely a good film. It had its flaws, and it's my least favorite Star Wars film. I mean, the holiday special is technically not a film; it was a TV special. But you never really see anybody put that in their most to least favorite list. But yeah, if I were to include the Star Wars Holiday Special, I would say I would technically my ninth favorite Star Wars film, because it was a film, it was just an animated film. A lot of people don't include it on their list, would be the Clone Wars movie. I thought it had its flaws, and it was a little bit hard, a little bit predictable. That was one flaw about it, because you already knew what was going to happen. By the time it came out in 2008, Revenge of the Sith had already been released in 2005. So you already knew what was going to happen with all the characters, and you knew that there was going to be no real showdown between Anakin and General Grievous, or Anakin and Count Dooku. But I still thought it was a good film. What did you think of the Clone Wars Star Wars movie?
I thought it was pretty good. I remember when they
Yeah.
leaked it, I was like, okay. I remember when in 2008 when it came out, I was like, oh, an animated movie. I thought it was going to be another movie, like a live action, but I watched it and I kind of liked it.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it had its flaws, but it was still a good film. And then, of course, my 10th favorite Star Wars film would be the Star Wars Holiday Special, and it's the only Star Wars film that I actually despise. I can't stand it. It's just really, really badly written, really bad production quality. What's your opinion of the Holiday Special?
Well, I thought it was bad, really bad.
Yeah, I mean, the only good thing out of the Holiday Special was it was the first appearance of Boba Fett, and it was the first, Now, in the special edition of A New Hope, they put in a deleted scene that shows Boba Fett, but that was not in the original version of A New Hope Star Wars. And so that technically, the Holiday Special, which aired in November of 1978, was the first appearance of Boba Fett. And that part was good, but, and a lot of people have taken like the 5-minute cartoon and they edit that out of the Holiday Special, and as a standalone short film, it's not bad. But you actually get to hear, Boba Fett has a lot more conversations than he normally does in the original trilogy. But yeah, for the most part, it was really terrible. It was written like a variety show, and George Lucas does have to take part of the blame because he wrote the screenplay to the Holiday Special, although George Lucas can't take most of the blame because he didn't direct or produce it. And this is the reason why the Holiday Special, its failure, was originally supposed to be a TV pilot. It was going to be a holiday special, and if it did well enough, they were going to turn it into a TV show. They even had prototype action figures based on the Wookiees, which are highly collectible because they only made prototypes. They never mass-produced them because the idea for doing a Star Wars TV show was canceled because the ratings were so low and it was critically panned. And this was at a time when Lucas did not own the rights to Star Wars, and he was under heavy pressure to write a screenplay for a TV special. And this is also the reason why Lucas was very hesitant and very scared to release a live Star Wars TV show because he was so worried that it would suck. Like, if it wasn't done carefully and it wasn't done with a big enough budget or big enough production quality, George Lucas was worried that the Star Wars live action TV show would suck just like the Holiday Special did. And George Lucas originally announced at a Star Wars convention in 2009 that he was releasing a live action TV show, but that never came to be. But it was going to be called Star Wars Underworld, but I think it's in development hell. I wonder if it will ever get released. Have you heard anything more about Star Wars Underworld or Star Wars live action TV show?
No, the Wikipedia keeps on saying it's gonna start filming in 2018, but I don't know if that's true.
Well, I mean, they've been saying that for the last 9 years. Lucas at Star Wars Celebration 2009 publicly announced that he was in pre-production for Holiday Special. He was in pre-production for a live-action TV show. He even released a teaser poster which showed a close-up of Boba Fett's helmet, and I got excited. But then you never heard anything, and then the next thing is that Disney gets a hold of Star Wars. They buy Star Wars and LucasArts in 2013. and then the rights transfer over, and then Disney puts it sidelines it even more. And from what I understand, there was about 12 scripts written, but Lucas was thinking that each episode would cost like $100 million because he was so overly paranoid that it would be terrible production quality like the holiday special. It's like you got to just take a risk and go with it. I'm sure you could do a Star Wars TV show on a limited budget if you write it with that in mind. If you write it with that in mind, don't do it like a variety show. Don't do silly jokes like a variety show, and focus on just a really good, gripping story. You could get away with doing a low budget Star Wars live action TV show, but who's to say if that will ever happen? And there's also with TV nowadays, TV is starting to become an old media, and it's slowly dying, and it's getting replaced by internet media like YouTube and Vimeo and other video sharing platforms. You can even share some video on Instagram. But yeah, there's the internet, and you have a lot of live streaming sites where you can watch stuff, Netflix. And so the old media is slowly dying, and new media is becoming the internet. It's still in transition, though. So it's hard to say. That might be another reason why they may never release a live action TV show, is why not just release it as an internet show? But who knows for sure? I would love for them to do it, but I guess they're too afraid of repeating the mistake from 1978. So, do you have any other comments?
Well, first of all, I gotta say I don't really know what my favorite Star Wars film is. I don't really know how to I don't know how to
Categorize it
because I like episode 7 because finally episode 7 was moving forward, right? And I like that. But then there's Rogue One, which I love Rogue One. But then after that, you gotta think, well, I love episode 1. You know that scene where Luke is looking at the sunset? That was a beautiful scene.
Well, that was episode 4, technically.
Yeah, that's what I said. In episode 4, like
you said episode 1.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I meant episode 4. That was a beautiful scene. The music was beautiful. Everything was just really nice. I just liked it. It was a very calming scene when I watch it.
Okay.
You know, it helps you de-stress, and it's very nice. I just think it's beautiful.
So
I think, actually, you know what? I don't know. I mean, when you think about it, my favorite would have to be, well, for now, is like probably episode 7, I would say, because it's moving forward. So my number 1 is episode 7, number 2 is Rogue One, and number 3 would have to be the original Star Wars.
Okay. So you like the original Star Wars better than Empire Strikes Back?
Yeah. I mean, I like Empire Strikes Back, but the original is the original. You know, it's just beautiful.
So The Force Awakens is your favorite film? Okay.
For now.
What's your opinion about my criticism of The Force Awakens? Do you agree with any of those criticisms?
Yeah, you know.
You don't have to.
I think that.
Remember, it's okay. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. It's okay not to agree with me.
No. I'm just saying. Yeah, it could have been done a little better, you know, and but you know, it is what it is, and yeah. Oh, also, what do you think about the new animated the new animated Star Wars series coming out soon?
I'm not that familiar with it. What's the new animated Star Wars series called?
Well, they don't have a title yet. They haven't even. I don't think they haven't even begun filming it yet. But like, okay, Rebels is going to end after season 4, and Rebels season 4 takes place 1 year before.
Rogue One.
No, 1 year before the original Star Wars. A New Hope. Okay. So they say there's like a bunch of rumors out there right now. The new Star Wars TV series after Rebels can take place either in the current era, like during, or maybe after Episode 8 and during Episode 9, and they can have like a bunch of people fighting the First Order somewhere else, or it could take place after Episode 6, like and before Episode 7.
Okay.
Like, what would you like?
I just want a good story. I mean, I would like to see a TV series that takes place between episodes 6 and 7.
Mm-hmm. Because, like, you know, if you know about these animated TV series.
Hello? Yeah, I'm at Sabor. I'm doing a live broadcast with Daniel because we're talking about today is the 40th anniversary of Star Wars. 40 years ago today. Yeah, 40 years ago today, the first Star Wars movie came out in theaters. May 25th, 1977. I'm sorry? That's good. Wow. Okay, hold on. Let me end this broadcast real quick. Hold on. Hey, Daniel, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta go. Oops, my ears all messed up there. But anyway, this has been the 40th anniversary Star Wars livecast for Steampunk Star Raisin live show. You have a nice day, and I will see you 25 billion years. And may the Force be with you.
Mm-hmm.